confidence and mindset coach, helping Black women leverage their expertise and confidently share what they do. I curated this chat series because confidence is a process, and on the road to becoming her, we need wisdom, we need tools and experiences that will really accelerate us, right? Accelerate our growth. It's like the difference between like a watered plant, one that's like watered every day and you take care of it, and one that's left to like fend for itself. The fighter can make it for sure, but when you are connected and nurtured and fed, it's just like this different experience, right? And you don't just make it, but you thrive. So that's what we're about to do. I am thrilled to have Rhonda with us today.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, such a pleasure. And Rhonda's a remarkable coach in herself, and she specializes in guiding people pleasers over 30 to break free from the exhaustion and really rediscover their authentic self. And, you know, Rhonda, thank you so much. She is a thriving member of this mindset and motivation community, and she is here today to give us some gems on this topic here of choosing her. So let's dive in. I think many of us have really heard the term like people pleaser, but can you define it for us?
Yes. People pleasing to me is an adaptation. It's because a lot of us, a lot of women of color were silenced and silent. So the one way that we were able to connect to the world and feel love and get love is to give that to others, is to give out to others. And as we got older, that began to grow, right? So we may, I don't know, we were kids, give our little favorite toy to somebody because this toy makes us feel comforted, hopefully make you feel better. Then, of course, as we get older, we end up giving them time, money, and energy. And my place now is as a people pleaser, a reformed people pleaser. My thing is now to let women over 30 who are feeling burned out and exhausted because they've given so much to people, letting you guys know there's a better life out there. You don't need that external validation anymore. You don't need that dopamine high that your brain gets when you do something great for somebody, because it's all you. Everything that has ever been good about people pleasing starts with you, ends with you. My thing now is to figure out what needs you have that need to be addressed, that what things need to be changed in your life so that you can feel good about yourself and get the love that you are so desperate to get from others by people pleasing. So it's all in all, it's an identity. It's an adaptation we had to get in order to feel love.
Right. So we've sort of like evolved to maybe kind of make it and to maybe get by
Sure.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it keeps us, it keeps us in so many traps, right? I see people pleasing as why we get into the super Black woman myth. I see people pleasing as why we live such stress lives as women, because we are trying to fulfill something that isn't truly us, and that we have to deaden ourselves inside to what we want and we need so that the world can have what they need. And like I was saying last night, they can sleep peacefully and be snoring, and you over there in the corner, wringing your hands, tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the connection because it's like you're sacrificing yourself. And maybe there was a place for that and a time for that. But if it isn't helping you, or like you're going to sleep all jacked up, something is wrong. I see this in other aspects of our lives too, because I think we are prioritizing others' happiness. And like you're saying, to the point where we neglect our own needs. And this repeats in business, it repeats in our growth decisions, where we really get paralyzed by what other people think, right? Or their needs, right? And we keep our desires second, even in those spaces and places. So like we've got to look out for that too. It isn't just sometimes this direct like relationship, like one-on-one, or like in romantic relationships or family relationships. It could be in your business relationships too. It could be every day, right? In the spaces that you guys are in. You know, so when you think about it, if you want to step into like that leadership role, right? Is that a place that I'm putting myself second, right? Where are you keeping your desires second? If you compare to elevate your practice to another level, right? If you desire to be in a space where people respect you, if you desire to love yourself, right? Or you
Mhm.
desire respect for yourself, are you stuck in that pattern where everyone else comes first and what you want comes second?
Right. Right. And we become numb to that. It becomes a way of life,
Ooh, we
you
just
know.
frozen.
Right. We're just, yeah. And that cruising will lead us headfirst into a wall if we're not careful. That's my point. That's why it's a critical place, that place of burnout when you're people pleasing, because if you don't know what burnout feels like, you're not going to know until you hit that wall. Because some people, like myself, I have indicators known as anxiety and depression. They let me know straight up, like, you can keep on going if you want to, but let me tell you what's going to happen, you know? And it took me time to realize that, but I also realized some people don't have those indicators, right? So my place is to give women the skills to recognize those things before you hit that wall. So you may be losing sleep. You may be like a couple of times I caught myself losing food, which means I thought I put the food here. I don't know where it is. I'm talking about like there was a time I put the food in a bag, I guess on
Yeah.
autopilot, burnout. You're
Ooh,
not paying
yeah.
attention. And realizing, oh gosh, okay, I need to slow down. I got a lot going on. And so I literally said to myself, okay, what can I shuffle around? What can I not do right now? Because my brain is telling me you're not paying attention, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
today
That's
it's this
good.
broccoli, tomorrow it may be driving. You understand what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
right.
So though, when you begin to learn yourself, and in those times when you are stressed, sometimes they're full of shame, you feel shame or embarrassed, but let them show you, let them teach you. The times when, again, you're not getting enough sleep, you just feel anxious and keyed up all the time, or you
Mm,
may be sleeping, too much. You just feel like, I don't want to do this. But
right.
the difference is when a person calls you up and says, hey, can I borrow that $15? You want it.
Oh, you can find that energy for them.
Oh, quick, fast, in a hurry.
Ah, right.
Yes.
Ah,
That's
love that.
mhm.
There's truth to that because even if
Yes.
think about it in terms of like our own like purpose and our own goals, where
Right.
we can find the energy at work somehow, and then at
Right.
the day we've got nothing left for us.
Right. Right. And that's where I'm trying, the journey for myself was hard because I was getting something out of it. I was getting a payoff from it.
Mm,
That's my story. And I realized that either I have to shut that payoff off, figure out another way, a healthier way to get it. Or, and I mean, there are middle grounds. You negotiate.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
you know, the example I thought about was a person calls up and they want like all your time. Hey, let's go hang out. This. They call up, didn't check to see if you had anything planned because more likely than not, they're used to you just dropping everything. So then that middle ground is I'll give you 3 hours.
That
Yeah, right.
right,
Maybe an hour.
right. My energy
Right.
budget is real low
Th-
these days. So
That
right,
part. Right. So that's a soft way of getting those boundaries.
yeah.
And I got an hour.
Mm, right. And I think once you start to put the boundaries in play, like people will start to respond, right? Because they'll
They
get it.
would.
Like, okay, I know she's only gonna give me an hour. I
Right.
see we need
Right.
to contain it a little bit.
Yes. And here's the thing I want people to pay attention to as well. If they don't,
Mm,
like if they are like, nah, I want an hour and a half, you might want to check that relationship. Now, check-in is whatever you want to do. I would suggest starting off with, I love journaling, with noting that I set a boundary. I said to said person, I will give you an hour. I'm only doing this. And this person's reaction was distorted, angry. This has happened to me. People, you say, okay, no, this. And they're, you know,
mhm.
try to come after you personally. Note that. I'm not, just make note
Mm,
and say to yourself, okay, when I placed a boundary, just keep this in mind, roll it around a little bit, let it go, let it come back a few days from now. When I placed a boundary for myself with this person, this is the reaction I got. They said this to me. They said that. This is this. Yes. When you say to someone who cares about you and loves you, hey, look, this is all I got, there's a level of respect that they will give you. And if you have people in your life, every time you put up a boundary, they are fighting you like you are just the worst person in the world, you need to check your circle.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I was saying last night, when you get around a different caliber of people, it raises your caliber.
Yes, the energy
You begin,
different.
you begin to realize I don't have to people please because I'm not coming in this circle to give anything other than who I am.
Yes, and then not
They
just
don't
taking from you.
right. I choose to give.
Receive too. Right. Or I decide what I want to give, and they're okay.
Yes. And they're okay with that. And they're okay with getting 10% today, if that's all you got, and 20% tomorrow, maybe nothing the next day, because they're not here for that. We're all in the same collective space. We all are aware of what we bring to the table. And no one comes from what I call the one down position, the powered down position. We're all coming from a sense of empowerment. So the people pleasing game doesn't work past a certain level.
So I wanna make it really clear because it's so many things. I mean, you went from what it looks like to when we are people pleasing to the things that we can really start to do, like putting boundaries in place. Give us like 3-4 things to let us know when we're not choosing ourselves and whatever the situation or context might be. Like I heard exhaustion. What's a couple more things that come to mind so we know when we're not in the right position and space?
Sure, where there's sometimes where you just cannot name that feeling you feel, but you know it's like not good, it's not happy, especially if the person's calling you and they're doing that thing where it's like, hey girl, what's up? They're kind of buttering you up before they come in for the kill. I would advise a feelings list. I have one right here on my wall. And it's like, how am I feeling? Right. And take that in. If this person calls you and your first feeling is, what do they want now? Just, take that in. Take that, because that's not cool. If you're in a relationship with somebody and they're always asking you for something, but you may be, that's the thing about people pleasing, you're not really keeping score. You're not really keeping count of all that. Then my thing is try and tune into how you feel.
Right.
Feel in it. When such and such calls me, I feel panicky. I feel, I feel helpless, desperate, powerless.
I love all that. I feel like this becomes like our checklist, right? Our checklist of what not to do, or maybe what you don't want to feel, moving into the space of choosing her. So now as we shift into like better alignment, like how do we better get to our authentic self? How do we better align ourselves with choosing her?
Being honest with yourself, like with the feelings and how when people treat us a certain way, facing that head on. No excuses, no this, oh, they're having a bad day. Facing that head on and understanding that the more we take that in, the more powerful we are, because now we have knowledge, right? And I'm not saying hate the person. I'm saying now we can make better choices. No, you have a choice. So when you understand, okay, wow, this is how I journal that. That's how they respond when I say no, or this is how I feel when they call me. I think the most powerful thing you can do is acknowledge that, take that in. And even I'm all about those small voices in the corner because they there. There's a voice back there that tells you because it knows you have a different choice. And as you acknowledge these things, it's going to get louder and louder. And in that moment, you will take the action that you need to take. You'll be able to set those boundaries. You'll be able to say no, but acknowledgement and awareness is key. So do not run from those feelings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for you, so what are you working on now to choose her? How does that
Oh
align?
my goodness. So talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. Uh, well, a couple of things. I'm trying to engage more in all the communities that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
I'm a sit back in the corner type person, kind of like, hello, me a little bit, you know, trying to shed that people pleaser skin and say, I'm here and I belong at the table. I am starting my podcast.
Yeah.
So I recorded my episodes. I have pretty much settled on a launch date. I'll keep you posted. And of course, I'm gonna have you on a bunch of my episodes. Those are the big things I have planned now. I also want to do some webinars about gratitude and just sisterhood. So that's what I got on board. Just a lot of good things, a lot of stepping out. That's
Yeah.
really my main plan, is stepping out and stepping up. That's what I
Yeah.
got planned.
And
So
I think sometimes we don't see it or realize that it isn't even so much about the things that we want to do, even though the doing is so powerful. It's how we show up in the process, how we evolve in the process.
absolutely.
That's what I'm really
Yep.
like hearing from you and seeing from you. It's that I decided to do these things, even if it's outside of my comfort zone. And
Right.
I could feel that discomfort, but I'm still showing up anyway. And in that process, I'm learning how to choose her, choose me.
Yes, I think that is so powerful when you really get that in the depths of your soul, that I'm choosing her now.
Yes.
I'm choosing this person to be now and living that out. It's a beautiful thing. It's a powerful thing to be it's happening in yourself. So you're a part of it, but just to see what happens, what you attract once you
Mhm.
open yourself up to that's powerful. And that's why I said, like, my passion with people please is just like there's so much more out here for us than that. There's life is so much bigger than giving till you can't give anymore.
I love that. There's so much more out here. Yeah, just it creates space for more. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And I think those of you guys listening, if this is resonating, or you know that you are in that space of choosing you or positioning yourself to do that, if you could put a I am choosing me or I choose me in the comments, right? And it's really to affirm it to yourself, because I think we have to keep
Absolutely.
reminding ourselves, especially when it's not what we really want to do or I don't feel good. Like, I choose me. When I get
Right.
off that phone or I set that boundary, I choose me.
Choose me. Absolutely. Love
It's
that.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Um, I think a big thing for me this year is really learning to trust myself and know that, like, I'm enough. 'Cause I think when
Yes.
you rely so much on external support, validation, it doesn't always allow you to see all that you have, because you see
Right.
yourself through the other person, right? And their happiness, or if they're proud of you, or if they're acknowledging you. And you don't always
Yes.
get to see that for yourself. So you don't always see like your value. And it's been something that I've been grappling back and forth with, but it choosing her in this moment for me is understanding that I am enough for whatever blank and whatever I want to put in that blank for my life. Like,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
good enough for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like we said last night, we really have to walk in that because people are watching. They're
Hmm.
watching for that example. They're watching for the person who made it, who can stand up in their fear and still do it. So it's modeling, right? Kids need role models, so do adults. We need
I don't think we
proper
ever
positive
stop needing
models.
it. We just feel like we
No,
grown and like we on our own and we got this, but no, we don't.
we need it. We need, I submit to you, we need it more as adults than we do as kids.
Absolutely.
To see somebody who said who is where you want to be, and to be at an age to know the process, to know they just didn't wake up and they were like that overnight. It's a powerful thing, because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm still going to trust the process. I'm still going to go through what I need to go through to become empowered and to
Mm,
choose that person, like, as opposed to choosing the identity of a people pleaser.
mm,
I choose identity of a leader,
mm.
because that's who we are. We're leaders.
I think it's why I love like this space and like this series, because we can see that in other women that look like us, and we get to really pull from like their wisdom and their strength and their experience, and we start to fill in those gaps in our lives. So,
Mhm.
Rhonda, I have to tell you, thank you. Right? Thank you for holding space with us and sharing your insights and your perspectives.
Absolutely.
I feel like
My
it's
pleasure.
invaluable, not just
Thank you.
from breaking away from this whole people pleasing cycle, but in a way that it moves us closer in our journey to becoming her. I really-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For you guys that are listening, if something resonated today, I would love for you to drop it in the chat. If there's something that it's like, okay, this is my takeaway for today. This is my reminder for today. This is the thing that I want to affirm after today, or I want to keep or hold on to. I want you to drop it in the chat, because it activates your mind, so your mind remembers, and you have a place to come back to, because it's like, girl, you said this to yourself. That right, this is for me. I am enough. This is what I need to do. So put that for us in the chat. And we really appreciate you guys being in this space. And I'll ask Rhonda, what is the word that's sitting with you right now that you'd want to drop for the audience listening as they share their takeaways?
Empowerment.
Ooh.
Empowerment. Feel empowered to choose, because you are empowered to choose her, right?
Ooh.
Empowerment.
Listen, if everybody don't start choosing them after this, I don't know. I'm about to throw water on y'all in the name of Jesus. Okay, so you are empowered to choose you. You heard? So, right?
Mhm.
Respectfully so. I respectfully decline.
Right, right. Because like I tell you, they gonna be over there chilling, and you're gonna be over here laid out.
I've seen that professional plantation where it's like, why is everybody else packed up and leaving at 5 and I'm still here like busting my head to do this, right?
That's
So
legitimate,
even exploring the conditioning around that, like why we feel we need to be the one to do so much, to do it by ourselves, right? To work to the last damn hour, to not delegate, to not
right.
Like there's so much that we've got to keep working on.
Yes, yes. There's so much that people pleasing is at the root of. It's really scary when you start following those tentacles as they go out. It's a lot.
Yeah. But I love that you ladies are deciding to choose you and choose something different. And we can't wait to hear how and what you do. Please continue to come back and share this with us. Rhonda, you are so freaking dope. I know I left your information there, but we'll make sure we'll dive back into the chat and leave everything else there too. Guys, such a pleasure. Like, I wish I could just hug you because this was just so dope. So maybe everybody could just hug themselves for
Absolutely.
But thank you so much, guys, for joining us for Becoming Her today. Look at how to choose her. You guys are phenomenal. Have a good evening, Rhonda. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Y'all take care.